They start out, of course, with an idea or a design for a piece of glass. This new design is made into a wooden model so that all the production people can look it over and so the designer can be sure it looks like he wants it. Then certain molds may have to be made so that the basic shape of the glass can be formed before it is hand worked. While the molds are being readied, the glass itself must be made. Fine glass is made from pure silica sand and several other chemicals which are carefully mixed together in controlled quantities so that just the right quality of glass results. To this mixture they add scraps of the same glass which they call cullet, and then they load it all into the furnaces. They showed me a model of an early American glass furnace which was constructed of stone and had places for several small pots of glass. Today, the method of melting glass is very much the same, except the furnaces are much larger, holding several tons of glass at a time. After the heating brings about the miraculous change of transforming this sand into molten, transparent glass, the artisans are ready to start production. They work in groups, for everything must be done while the glass is hot. And it's amazing, my dear, what they can do. For instance, in blowing goblets and stemware. Similar processes are used in making other pieces, such as water pitchers. Knowing just how much glass to snip off in each case is part of the experience and skill needed by the glass artisans. But all handmade glass is not made by blowing, for some has the basic shape formed by special presses. Again, it requires teamwork to do this job so that both the mold and the glass will remain hot enough to work properly. The particular piece I saw them making the day I was there was a fruit bowl where a pressing operation made the basic form. This was taken quickly to a small furnace. I think they called it a glory hole, where the glass was reheated until soft. They said this also gives the glass a beautiful polish. Then a skilled craftsman took the soft glass and shaped it into a beautiful flared bowl. This bowl is just like the one I saw them make. That's why I like to have this one, because I know the care and skill that was needed to make it. Yes, it's very lovely. Well, when the crystal has been formed into whatever shape it is to have, there are 3 other major steps it goes through. First, it must be annealed. That's where they put the glass in an oven and allow the glass to cool very slowly and evenly, so that the stresses in it are relieved. This makes a stronger piece of crystalware. Next came a very rigid inspection, and I just about had heart failure in that room, hearing all that crystal crashing and breaking, because you see, those pieces which don't measure up because of flaws are scrapped, thrown into a barrel for remelting. And that, my dear, is what makes handmade glass so fine, because when we buy a piece, we get the finest, the most perfect pieces produced. All inferior pieces are destroyed. The finishing process was what interested me most. That was where they engrave or etch the designs and polish the crystal. Where the stemware was concerned, they had to remove the top of the blown glass, which comes off the blowpipe. At special work tables, little diamond cutters score the glass at just the right place, and then jets of flame heat the scored area so that the worker can merely lift off the unwanted section. That leaves a rough edge, of course, so the pieces go through a furnace which remelts just the edge of the glass, making it nice and smooth. Well, they led us downstairs to the etching and engraving department, and that was great fun in there. They have two ways of putting on the design. One is engraved or cut into the glass by skilled artisans who use as a pattern only a few guide marks and a sample. The rest is up to skill and experience in cutting all those intricate designs. I just don't see how they can do it. The other way is to etch the designs, using acid which eats away some of the glass. In order to protect the parts of the glass which are not to be eaten by the acid, they're covered with a special wax ink transferred from tissue paper patterns. Another group of girls takes each piece and touches up any parts that are not covered by the transferred pattern, leaving only the pattern parts open to the acid. Finally, I saw them put the crystal pieces down into the acid bath, only for a few minutes, until the acid eats into the glass, etching the design permanently. After the pieces are taken out, they are ready for final cleaning and a very close inspection. Then those pieces which get more decorations go to the people who apply such things as gold. And it's real gold they use, too. When this is done properly, it is baked and fused onto the glass, and then polished for brilliance.
That's very interesting, Mrs. Hudson. It gives you a much different feeling about crystal.
Yes. And do you know that when a piece of glass goes through a plant like that, it takes an average of 75 different men and women to handle it and work with it? That's what they told me.